The number of juvenile cases filed with immigration court in Harlingen has more than tripled in just 3 years' time. The majority are transferring their cases out of the valley to other cities across the United States. So far, figures show they're remaining in the system and pleading their cases to stay.
This is their one chance to stay here legally.
San Juanita Campos is no stranger to the U.S. Immigration Court in Harlingen. The Weslaco-based immigration attorney has clients here in the Valley and throughout the Lone Star State. But her clients from Central America tell a common story.
There's violence. You know, we've seen it. There is a threat of being killed, being tortured, being raped if they are sent back.
The number of adult cases filed with immigration court in Harlingen has remained steady. But with the recent influx of women and children from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador, the number of juvenile cases filed with immigration court has tripled in just 3 years' time, growing to more than 6,500 cases in fiscal year 2013. So far, from October through March, there have already been more than 4,000 juvenile cases filed, pacing to break another record.
Well, they need to be processed properly. They need to be labeled properly, you know, as the refugees that they are coming into this country, and follow that protocol.
Action 4 sat inside immigration court for a recent round of juvenile hearings. Cameras were not allowed inside, but out of a lengthy docket, only one child was actually in court. The rest of the cases were represented by lawyers and postponed or transferred to courts in faraway places such as California, Boston, Georgia, New Orleans, and even New York. Campos says there are several options to keep these children in the United States, among them getting a family member with legal status in the U.S. to petition on their behalf. Children who are victims of crime can also get a visa to stay, while others can try to apply for asylum.
They need to see an attorney. They need to see an attorney because there might be reliefs that people don't know about, but they might be able to get help through an attorney.
Action 4 took a look at the numbers. Out of the 58 immigration courts across the United States, figures show that New York City consistently has the highest number of cases, but Harlingen has the highest number of requests for a change of venue. We also learned that where a case is heard can also make a difference. Judges in New York City lead the number of cases where asylum is granted, while Harlingen ranks in a lower tier. Figures also show that immigrants from places such as China, Ethiopia, and Nepal are more likely to be granted asylum, while immigrants from Central America fall far behind.
Those people will go through a different process. People from Cuba, if they make it into the United States, they stay here. They don't get sent back.
Although there are no court-appointed attorneys for immigration court, Campos says legal representation is very important. Figures show that only less than 3% of juveniles with cases in Harlingen failed to appear in court in fiscal year 2013. Campos says they're fighting to stay in the United States. She says immigration court judges literally have the lives of her clients in their hands.
I had a couple of occasions where they were sent back because the decision was made that there was no basis for their fear, and I haven't heard from them.
Even before the current influx, immigration courts around the United States already had a notorious backlog. With only 250 judges and 3 of them in Harlingen, cases may take months or even years. Figures we obtained show that more than 350,000 cases remain pending nationwide for fiscal year 2013 alone. In the studio, Sergio Chapa, Action 4 News.